Yeah, I can't.
Into the platform.
Oh, okay. I thought I was supposed to shoot it.
No, we're having to land and get inside.
I missed that. I thought we were supposed to shoot
You
it.
were just spinning.
Didact, dead ahead.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
How do we get
I
inside
did
those
see
shields?
that.
Your body was just like spinning through the belt.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gameboys podcast. My name is Austin, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Dolan.
Hello.
And Christian.
Howdy.
Howdy there. Today, we are talking about Halo 4, the first of the Halo games under the 343's management and design.
Yay!
Will they be carriers of the mantle of responsibility, or will they fall short as a reclaimer to the title? We will discuss that now. But before we really get into the meat of that, what kind of development history do we got to compare to see, like, how does 343 build Halo compared to, like, Bungie building Halo?
Me? Yeah. Okay, so there was a bit of... I feel like every Halo game except for 3 was basically a disaster. No, that's not true. Like, Reach and ODST were... No, the development of Halo has always been rocky. 343, unfortunately, inherited at least that mantle. So originally, the creative director was a guy who had worked at Kojima Productions on the Metal Gear series, and wanted to reinvent Halo and make it a whole thing. And then 3 years in, they're like, this isn't working, and so we're demoting you. And then they're like, put someone else in charge. We're like, do make a Halo game, please. Don't make Metal Gear Solid Space. So it was rocky, right? But only in the way that all of these were rocky. In fact, arguably less than the other ways. One of the biggest complaints the team had was that they were building not just a follow-up to Halo 3, the biggest game in the universe ever. They were also building 343 Industries itself. It wasn't like they had the full team together and then started making the game. They were making the game as they were grabbing people. Another big thing is Microsoft was taking this over from Bungie, and specifically they wanted... Bungie had a very we make the games and then other people can make books and spin-offs and things, but the games are what we care about. 343 and Microsoft were very much no, this is a multimedia project. A big complaint a lot of people have about the 343 era is that frequently it feels like you have to do homework and read the books to understand the games, whereas Bungie was very much you can get neat little extra tidbits and lore, but if you've just played the games, you're getting a full experience. So that's very much... Or
hide important lore in side modes like Spartan Ops.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're not kidding. But 343 had a very different idea of what Halo should be than kind of Bungie, where the games were the centerpiece, webbing out to a bunch of different other media, whereas Bungie wanted to here's the games and you can have little extra snacks if you want. But yeah, so that's kind of the biggest difference I've seen in the development thing, is just that shift in mindset of we got to prove ourselves, and also Halo isn't a scrappy, IP that we've built from the ground up and it's taken over the world by storm. It is now being made by fans, right? It's being made by people that are affected by the legacy of Halo and not just people that wanted to make cool games, and that cool game is Halo. So we'll see how that affects it. I'm going to pretend to be optimistic and also impartial as I say that.
Yeah, sure. Well, with that, Christian, do you got any interesting facts to pair with that?
So, honestly, I did some research, and really there's not a lot of fun facts about Halo 4, which I felt like was kind of surprising. I thought especially with a new 343 taking this over, there would be a lot more interesting, oh, this happened, they threw this in. But all in all, from what I saw, it sounds like the 343 guys did not have nearly as much fun making this game as Bungie did, because they didn't throw in as much fun just side content. Like, I think probably the most interesting thing was just it's not even a Halo 4 fun fact. It's technically from Halo 2. While recording dialogue, David Scully, the voice of Sergeant Major Avery Johnson, said, "In Halo 4, I get a woman." And that was probably the most common fun fact I could find. And that wasn't even a Halo 4 fact. It was from Halo 2. So, definitely seems like 343 were more strict. Hey, I think that probably is because they were under so much pressure of, this is the Halo franchise. Like, we want to. In their minds, they wanted to do it right, but it seems like there weren't as many fun, just side things as we have already seen in the other Halo games. I mean, this was the second Halo game since Halo 2 to not feature dual wielding. That was the other thing. And I mean, other than that, it's like basically just like, oh, they used this weapon model in a trailer, but the weapon didn't appear in the game, or things like that. It's really not anything that's really that fun. I mean, in terms of just like, I don't even know if this is a fun fact, but Halo 4 is the first Halo game to have less than 10 missions. So there you go.
Crosses over a little bit into dev history that maybe I should have mentioned, but I did see a couple things that I could talk about real quick. This is the first Halo game to use mocap, which I found interesting because I never noticed the movements feeling, more robotic, like in Reach or something like that. But apparently this is the first Halo game to use mocap. And the other thing that's interesting, and this was all in favor because one of their big mission statements, even from the Kojima Productions version of this, was like, we wanted to focus on making a more human, character-driven story. Was like the one idea that they had, right? And they said to that end, they got mocap. And this was also the first game where the voice actors for Master Chief and Cortana got to record at the same time. They always were just recording off of someone else's voice separately in different booths or things like that. But they actually got them in the studio to act off of each other, which I will say, for all the troubles this has, I think that was a really good choice. And so a lot of the designs, like Cortana's new design, kind of Chief's new movement, and the mocap was all to really focus in on kind of getting the humanity of these characters, for better or worse.
Yeah, I do think that one of the strong points of the game is definitely Chief and Cortana's interaction. So I guess a good part of that probably is attributed to them actually just ripping off each other, or riffing off each other, whatever you want to call it.
They had to re-audition for their places, by the way. They had hired other people, apparently, and then beta testers complained that it wasn't the right voices, and so they auditioned them again.
It was a red...
Yeah! Can you believe that? Sorry, that was...
Yeah, red flag from the start. They wanted to get rid of Master Chief and Cortana.
Could you imagine if, you just load up the game and it's just, a completely different voice?
Yes, that happens a lot of my games. It's sad.
Yeah, or a game where you play and you have a voice for a guy, and then a DLC comes out and you watch the same cutscene, it's a different guy.
I haven't had that happen, but
you will when we get to Kingdom Hearts. Poor Masters. I'm sorry, we're already tangenting. Poor Master Xehanort has 3 voices in the span of 5 years because they keep hiring old people, and those old people keep dying.
I know. It's terrible.
Yes, it's true. Tangent. Yeah,
it's a fun one.
We'll
they
get
have
there.
so many different memorable lines from Xehanort. They're all different people.
Yeah. I mean, the best one is Keyblade.
Yes, Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But anyway, so as we go through Halo 4, we actually since I felt like this was the easiest Halo game, at least the easiest campaign so far, we played it on Legendary. And overall, I do think that still holds up. I still think it is the easiest campaign overall on Legendary.
Easier than
Starting with you,
ODST?
Dolan, do you agree with that?
I was going to ask. I feel like ODST was easier because you respawn so fast.
The respawn thing being so fast, sure, but I think the general gameplay... Did we even play on Legendary on ODST?
I thought we did. We've been playing a Legendary since I thought 3.
I thought so.
Yeah, we can easily confirm this, because I think I put down what difficulty we played on every single one.
I believe it's
I can
been
find
Legendary. We didn't do it on 1 and 2.
No, we played Heroic. I just
On-
looked it up.
On ODST?
okay.
Yep.
Oh, well, then I don't know what I'm talking about. That I'm going to say, yes, you are correct, because I don't even
Yeah, that was
remember.
from... ODST on Legendary is rough, dude.
Probably fair.
It is... Because especially the section where, if we remember back, when you have to escort the elephant
Yeah.
with the engineer inside,
Yeah.
that on Legendary is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Then yes,
But yes.
given that I don't know what I'm talking about and I thought they were comparable, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. Besides, like, we only had one mission that I really felt that difficulty hit, and I think most of it was just because of stupid shenanigans that was happening. Do you remember the one mission where we had to... There was eventually a ship that came down. We were escorting an elephant, funny enough. The big elephant along the canyon, and then we had to get inside a Covenant ship and blow it up. But we would try to do that, and then we would just die. And the mission would revert back to a checkpoint over and over and over again. You remember
Yeah.
that?
What happened? Wasn't it glitching or
I
something?
still can't figure it out. Like, it's like if we didn't rush there and immediately rush to the objective, we would just all combust and die.
I do remember that. But overall, there weren't that many sections of, like, I remember in Reach, we had that one section that was like, we're giving up playing this correctly. Christian and I are going to suicide bomb them, distract them, so you can just run on ahead and get to a checkpoint, because we just banged our head against it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Nothing like that happened in
Yeah.
4. Like, we got frustrated and
Oh,
stuck
yeah.
for like, what was it, 10 minutes maybe? Not like an hour, like in every other game we had a section where we just got stuck.
Yeah. Every game has that notorious section. I can't really think of a notorious section in 4.
Other than us dying for 10 minutes, but that
Other
was
than the weird, like, bug stuff going on. Or your pelican flying skills.
Listen. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the most difficult part, is that they have these, like, almost... well, they have actual QuickTime events, which I guess we'll get to, but, like, there are these sections that are, like... It's kind of it's interactive, but it's like a cutscene where it's like you fly through and everything's crashing around you. And I think Reach has had that too, but like it kept spawning me backwards in these every time there was like a chase sequence. And so we, something would crush us that we couldn't help, and then we'd spawn in and just fly into a wall. And like, I feel like
Yeah. So that started with the ghost level where you have to
Yeah.
try to like escape on the ghost, and I always remember that. And I warned you guys, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the part that's gonna suck because it only cares about the first player.
Yes.
Anybody
Yeah.
else behind the first player, even if you're 2 feet behind, dies.
Yeah, and
and
they-
I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
not wrong.
Nope.
It's just brutal. They gave us co-op campaign. They did not design it for co-op campaign.
Yeah.
It feels like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is baffling to me. And it feels like it's a trend that they continue about not really caring about a co-op campaign. Infinite.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that point. But yeah, so we had that, and then that also issue came up to us on the last level when we were flying the I think it was the Saber airship through basically doing the trench run, but in Halo.
Yeah.
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 It was killing you guys as well, which is a shame because that is, I think, one of my favorite segments of the entire game, and you can't experience it with all of your friends, which is really sad. It bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, any other, like, I guess, memorable levels, even if they stick out in a bad way to people? What about you, Dolan? What's, like, a level that stuck out to you?
Levels. So I don't know, this is mildly cheating, but like individual layouts are not sticking in my brain as much. Maybe because this is the one I've replayed the least, but also I just don't think it's quite as memorable as a lot of the Bungie setups. However, I will say that I feel like the new enemy type that we'll get into a little bit, which is... What are they called again?
The Prometheans.
The Prometheans, right. The Prometheans, there are several places where you're in their architecture, and that does stick in my brain as being like a distinct, like the way those were laid out. They weren't necessarily super memorable gameplay wise, but I did think like, this is like a neat thing that does still feel like Halo to me, but doesn't feel like Covenant or Human. I actually think they succeeded in making a third faction that feels like it belongs in the same universe. But I like I guess this is more on the enemies, but I do like the little floaty guys that bring people back to life. So you got to focus on them. They're not in like one level, but they're, all over the place. I don't know. I'm trying, man.
I got some thoughts before you continue on the levels about the Prometheans. So you mentioned you like being able to experience their architecture and stuff. These are just the Forerunners. We've experienced their architecture in the Bungie Halo games.
Okay, no.
It's very different, and that bothers me.
We need to talk about this probably before we go forward. This is worth mentioning. The way I'm viewing this game, there are two ways to view this game, and I think you and I should have different opinions on this, but I think I want to play devil's advocate here. You're viewing this as Halo 4, which is probably how everyone should view this, because it's called Halo 4. And as Halo 4, the follow-up to Halo 3, this is a very disappointing game. As 343's first space shooty game, I'm trying to look at it like that. Like, hey, we made a space shooty game, and there's some characters I like that showed up along the way. And so I have to view the Forerunners I have to view the Prometheans as not the Forerunners. I know that's the lore 343 wants to have, and I'm really throwing them a bone they don't deserve. And I'm sure we're going to talk about all that later, about when we get to the plot. But, like, if I view this as a new space threat showed up, and they're not really anything we've seen before, and they're neat, and they're different, and they're new, and I just am looking at it apart from the story. I'm trying to think about the gameplay and visuals perspective, right? On that level, neat. The moment you start thinking about the lore implications, the entire thing falls in on itself. But you were asking about gameplay, so I'm trying to stick in gameplay headspace. Yes. And as a new faction, I think they're neat.
If I look at it through those lens, I do think the aesthetic design of the Prometheans are really cool. I think all the enemies look really cool. Their weapons and the weapon animations are really, really cool. But the moment I remember this is supposed to be Forerunner tech, I get bothered.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's a lot of things that bother me about this game. Oh, for instance, level 1. One of my biggest complaints about this game, I think it's a petty complaint, but it's my biggest complaint nonetheless, is the complete redesign of Master Chief's armor. I hope somebody listening to this gets me here, but
count the dose.
He goes to sleep in an armor, and he wakes up in a completely different suit of armor, which I can almost forgive because they try to say, oh yeah, Cortana just upgraded him. And so forth. So he hits a jetpack now all of a sudden, and he just knows to use a jetpack, even though he's never used a jetpack on his suit in any of the previous games. It's like I could almost maybe forgive just, his suit got an upgrade in nap time. But then they do flashback sequences, and they show the first deployed Spartans, and they all have the new armor. And that's not how it's supposed to be. It bothers me. They retconned everything. All the old armor is gone. It never existed.
I'm going to make a statement that I want you two to tell me if you agree with or not. And Austin has 2 more games than Christian does on this, but I feel like this game is the easiest. It has the easiest fixable problems. Like, I'm not saying it's the worst or the best, but it has problems that could be tweaked very minorly, and it could be amazing. It's the closest to not having issues. There's ones that basically don't have any issues, awesome. There's ones that have problems, I think, more deeply embedded that you can't really fix without redoing the whole game. But I feel like all the issues in Halo 4 are like a couple tweaks away from just not existing. It's like, hey, make the little set pieces so that the people behind you can live. It's okay. Cortana's rampancy, the reason for it. Just a little tweak. Don't show the armor, the old armor in the retcon. It's just so easy, and they just keep doing it.
So, because y'all saying that reminded me that I remember seeing something about this when I was looking up fun facts. And so basically, long story short, they designed Chief's armor and they got in a time crunch and said, well, we want this cutscene to be included, this prologue cutscene, but we don't have models for any other Spartan armor. So we're just going to throw this armor, even though it's in the past, we're going to throw this armor on. We're going to just use the armor that we have because we're under a time constraint to get this game out.
So it wasn't an artistic decision.
No. From what I could see, it was oh, well, we are out of time, but we want to include this, like, piece of lore. We're just going to throw it in and see what happens. We'll find an explanation later.
Does that make you feel any better that it was like time crunch and not like we're trying to rewrite history?
Maybe slightly better. But I mean, if you're under a time crunch and your only answer is Control-C, Control-V, Master Chief everywhere, just don't do it.
I mean,
that is not a good option.
Counterpoint, Control-C, Control-V, Cortana is literally how we won the game, so...
That's very true.
Control-C, Control-V, V, 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 V. Yeah. But yeah, sure. I still don't like the design of Thor's armor.
Oh.
It wouldn't make me like actually rate the game lower if it was like all the other problems are fixed. It's my least favorite Chief design.
It's my favorite.
Why?
I like it. I think it looks cool. He looks more
enough,
human.
Like, 343, I think, he looks more... I disagree. I think he looks the least human in this one. The proportions of everything are really weird. Of all the armor pieces. But also, if I had to change like how he got his new armor, I would not have had Cortana change it. They go to the UNSC Infinity fairly early, and they have new Spartans with the exact same type of armor. They could have just retrofitted him with an upgraded suit there, and it would have made a lot more sense.
They would have had to make
that would have been my little
model.
mini tweak.
They have a second model.
They just copied the Halo 3 model. Just use the same one.
Okay, well, counterpoint, because the fidelity, I will say this. I remember even when I first played this, I was like, when I first played it, I was like, I didn't know the Xbox 360 could make graphics this good. It is a very high fidelity game. I can't say pretty in terms, I think also the art direction's good, but you could debate the art direction. I think it's pretty objective that this is one of the higher fidelity looking games on the 360. And it would be very odd to have Master Chief armor, who is, I love Halo 3. Halo 3 is the best. That's why it's in Z+++. But it was an early 360 game. I don't think they quite could get the juice out of it that they were able to get at the end of the generation. And so I think putting early, like, launch 360 Master Chief armor right next to, like, end of the generation, we're squeezing every ounce we can out of it, would have maybe, like, looked a little jarring, I suspect. I assume Editor Dolan is at this point posting some kind of picture that Austin has sent me that is all of the Halo armors right next to each other so that we could see how
I just did
accurate.
3 and 3 and 4. I'm just trying to decide like what about, because I'm really curious what your reasoning is. Like, what about this one looks more human than the Halo 3
Oh gosh,
one?
we're back on that. I don't know. I have to look at it.
Like you said, it's the first time you've ever said like it looks more human, which is interesting. So I'm really curious where you get that from.
He's less boxy. There's more of a human-shaped outline to him. He's got more bits and doodads, and that's true. But, like, Master Chief looks like a walking tank, and he should, and that's awesome in 3. But he looks very boxy and square, which fit the art design. There's more of a human silhouette, I feel like, in 4, I think is what I'm feeling.
Don't get that.
That's okay.
Okay.
I could be wrong. People in the comments, Mom's swim class, tell me what you think. Which Master Chief looks more human? Well, Christian, what do you think?
To be clear, I don't think Halo 4's Chief doesn't look human. It definitely is human. But it's just weird looking at these two and thinking, yeah, this one is more human. That's the part that's weird.
I feel like they both look human. Like I don't look at them and think, oh yeah, that guy's definitely from another planet. You know, I mean, in terms of comparing the models, like, I mean, this one has better kneecaps.
Count the toes.
Let's everybody take a minute. Count the toes. 1, 2, 3. One.
Part of it may also be in my brain. The mocap is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I just remember seeing Chief in 4 and being like, oh, I feel more like there's a person under there than I did before.
Sure, if we're talking, I feel like the argument about animations and how they move being more human is separate than what does the armor look like, though.
I don't know.
Because I can maybe get on board with, yeah, he looks more human in terms of how he moves in animation style. Sure, I can be on board with that.
I just remember feeling like when I was playing Halo 4, being like, this is the first time I felt like Chief was a person. Part of that was...
There's a lot of factors to that,
that
too,
is
though.
true.
There's the voices, the actual more dialogue, the story, the movements and stuff. So I think that is what adds it as opposed to the armor.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I think, like, of all the armors, the one that feels like an actual logical upgrade is what they actually did for Infinite. Like, Infinite fixed Chief's armor and made it what it should have been if it got upgraded. And it might actually be my new favorite armor design.
Hey-oh, 343.
It looks like 3, but got it upgraded and a little beefier.
Nice.
And I love it. But anyway, off on that tangent. So, let's talk about the soundtrack. That's one of the few things we haven't talked about. We talked about, the aesthetic, the levels, the gameplay. But what do we think about the soundtrack? Because this is finally when we're getting away from...
Poor Marty.
I cannot remember. Yeah, Marty O'Donnell's soundtrack and getting somebody new in. I honestly think he did a really good job. I really like the Halo 4 soundtrack. What about you, Christian? What were your thoughts on the music?
From what I can remember, I thought it was good. I don't remember thinking like, oh man, this is like a top tier soundtrack. Like, at the moment, I cannot pinpoint like a particular song and be like, oh yeah, I remember at this part, this song that was epic. I think it was, from what I can remember, I think it was pretty good. But at least at right now, maybe I need to go back and re-listen to it. I don't recall anything to write home about, if that's fair to say.
So I had sort of a similar situation to you, Christian, but I have to edit these, all of our podcasts. And one of the little things I do that I don't think anyone ever gets to the end of our podcast, so they wouldn't know. But when we're doing a series, the last song I put is from the soundtrack of the next game, right? So as I'm editing the Halo Reach, I put in a Halo 4 sound music, and I was like, oh, this is good. And I went and listened to it, and I was like, this is good. So my thought I have about the soundtrack is that I'm trying to decide if it's a chicken or the egg type situation, where I do agree I couldn't hum you a tune. There's very iconic Bungie tunes, like right off the bat. Yeah, like it's just, there's so, and I don't know that I could hum you one of the Halo 4 sounds. So my brain goes, it's less catchy. But then my brain also goes, is that because you've played it less? Is that because the style of music is going less for catchy, standout tunes and more fitting the situation? Because when I'm listening to it, I go, this is jamming, I like this. But then it goes away and I go, I can't recall any of it. Austin, you've listened to music more. Can you hum and remember them better? Is it just that we haven't been exposed as much? Or is the style of music different enough that it makes it harder to hum?
So I'll answer more on like more of maybe slightly a more objective musical side. It is less motif heavy, because what Marty O'Donnell did a lot and was really good is there are a lot of repeating motifs throughout the Halo soundtracks, which really establish it, and they're very like in your like kind of in your face type of thing. Like superhero movies tend to try to do that, dude. They pop their motif, a short motif, and they do it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it solidifies. So there is way less of that in Halo 4. The one song that I actually could probably hum is the first time that Master Chief actually has a motif and song to him, which is the track that they titled in the soundtrack 117. They actually reuse that motif and like song melody in Halo 5 when Chief is present. So it's established as this theme at this point.
Is it
which it's my favorite song. I can't remember any music from Infinite. Maybe they ditched it for Infinite. I know they used it in 5 for sure. Guaranteed. They might have gotten a new guy for the soundtrack for Infinite, and it might be the same person for 5 and 4. But I have to check that out. I don't actually know.
Well,
but
get there.
I can just remember. I can remember and recall 2 tracks, which is 117 Master Chief's theme, and then the music that plays on the Didact's reveal. That one is in my head too.
Yeah, I think I might.
The kind of like soft chants going on with the ominous electronic music in the background.
Yeah, I think I remember.
What song did you put in the end of Reach out of curiosity?
Brother, hang on.
Okay, I was just curious if you just like had a link.
I'm gonna look.
Actually, like a few times, just listen to the Halo 4 soundtrack. I enjoy a good bit of it. It's good. The guy did a good job. Do as much as any of the ones that Marty O'Donnell done, but I have.
Yeah. It's also hard to go up against. I don't mean to, but like, it's hard to go up against Marty O'Donnell in Halo. Like, even if you do amazing, that's the whole problem with 4. Is again, is this 343's new space shooter? In which case the soundtrack is amazing, or is it Halo 4 dropping most of the motifs of the entire series for like seemingly no reason? In which case, kind of weird to do on your 4th mainline game for some reason. How do you view this? I'm trying to view it as 343 Spaceman #1, in which case soundtrack's great. But yeah.
Yeah, it is in that weird state. So like when Halo 4 was like, it was only Halo 4 for 343, I wasn't on the I hate 343 train. Definitely was not at that point. I'm thinking like, that wasn't what I was hoping for, but I still had a decent enough time. Because the game ranked out about average for me. It's like, I played it a few times. I still had fun.
By the way, it was Awakening.
Awakening, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I picked.
Yeah, the first track, I think.
Well, yeah, but I thought, like...
It's a good one.
Yeah, it flowed. I just was listening to it. I was like, this'll work as kind of a...
Yeah. After all this is done, I want all of you to listen to 117. It is a good piece of music.
I'm sure it's playing. I'm sure it's been playing probably frankly this entire time. Editor Dolan has probably been listening to it for a while.
Yeah, I wasn't on the hate 343 train yet. That solidified with the next game. Spoiler. We might get to play, might not get to play. That's when they completely shattered any hope and trust that I had in them at that point. Halo 4 was like, that might have just been a rough start, maybe. Maybe they're trying to get their identity going, give them a shot. Stuff irritated me, but not enough to cancel me out of Halo. I wasn't thinking Halo's dead, man. I wasn't in that crowd. I thought, we might be a rough patch, but maybe they'll pick up the pace, hit the ground, maybe tripped a little bit, sprained their ankle. We'll see what happens. And then they ran off a cliff. But yeah, remember I have here to talk about like our strategies for the run. I don't know if we really had anything that's different.
Yes, we did.
Boom, boom.
No. The answer is Needler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Needler OP. The Needler is so over too in this game. It baffles me.
Yeah.
It's like if you see a Needler coming through, that's the only scary thing on Legendaries. You see a couple pink shards flying to you, and it's over. Who will win? One big green tanky boy or flow sharp pink things?
Yeah, Needler OP. That's basically the like defining gameplay thing I can remember about this.
Oh yeah, that was and the fact that all the guns really feel like that they have half the ammo that they should have when you pick them up.
I feel like the enemies the other thought I had was like, this is entirely vibes. So Austin, I probably want you to correct me, or Christian, but I think Austin would know better on this. Like, did it feel, and I think I felt the same way about Halo 2, but did this feel like there were less open, go get in a vehicle and kind of drive around a sandbox levels than like a lot of previous numbered Halos, at least? Like, you're in vehicles, but I felt it was like, go down this canyon, this like shooting gallery, and less like, here's the box.
Yeah, it and Austin, feel free to cut me off, but I would definitely agree with that. I felt like a majority of the maps felt, when there was like vehicle options, it was very linear, not like here's a big combat area, just go drive around.
We escort that elephant for what
enemies.
feels like 3 missions, for is the one that sticks in my brain the most.
Halo 4 has like 1, maybe 2 sections that might qualify for that. But like most of them, like it does have a fair bit of vehicle stuff.
Yes.
But most of them are narrower.
Which
But
Halo 2 was
I
like.
think every Halo game does
Yeah.
have a section that you have vehicles and it is narrow.
Yes.
ODST has it. That's the highway.
Yeah. No, it's not
I know-
narrow vehicles bad. It's that specifically even Halo 1 and 3, I think of as having. There's a
1
lot
and
of,
3 are the biggest like open areas.
yeah,
yes.
and then Reach I felt like had a few that were maybe not as big as 1 and 3, but like were still, you know, but like 2
Yeah.
and ODST. So it's not bad. I like ODST. But like 2 and ODST I felt like were more narrow, and I felt like 4 was in that line of like, it's the first numbered one since 2 that I felt like, oh, we're kind of back to. It's not bad. I was just wondering if those vibes were right or not.
I think for the most part, yeah, because I can only really think of one level in my mind that jumps out that was like the open areas of like 1 and 3, and most of them were just like either a really short vehicle segment or, you know, like stuff where we got the mantises, for example. You just go through the corridors of the ship type of thing with the vehicles, stuff like that.
Yeah, the ship. Yeah, so like this game is very focused on like a very seamless, streamlined play, and it just reminds me of like the QuickTime events that are kind of baffling in this series. It's even funnier when you're on multiplayer because the prompts don't appear. It's just, it kind of picked one of the 3 of us randomly, which was also funny. I thought it'd always be player 1, but it just kind of picks one of us and goes, you get the QuickTime events. And so you're just sitting back and it's like, oh crap, that's me. Because I hadn't had one the entire game. And then I got the last one of the game. And so I missed it because I didn't even know I could get it. And then randomly it was like, press the button. And I was like, oh, I'm pressing buttons.
Yeah, I never even got a QuickTime event.
That's
I don't know.
so
what
funny.
it.
It was like all Austin. Maybe it's the first person to get to the thing, and it was almost always Austin. And then somehow I got ahead of him at the last one. But it was so funny that I failed that QuickTime event because I didn't even know I could get it. I thought it would go to Austin.
Yeah. Or the segments where, you know, where in the first level we had to climb up and then, like, you know, jump to the sides and stuff. Like, you're basically just watching me play the game at that point.
Yes, yes.
Reinforces they did not think very hard about how this would feel in a co-op sense.
It's like you said, co-op. This is the first one co-op has felt like a strong afterthought.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of the earlier ones, you even get like unique characters. Like they really were thinking about the co-op experience, and
yeah, the co-op experience in 5 is interesting. It's it really doesn't feel like Halo in that kind
Making
of
me
way.
so excited for it.
Assuming we even get the chance to.
I don't know if we're going
That's the
beyond
hard
4.
part.
We'll have to see.
Okay, last thing that we should talk about, and probably the one that we probably all would have some decent positive stuff to talk about, the plot of Halo 4. I don't think the plot was awful. I don't care too much for the Forerunner type of stuff. The Didact is fun enough, and the Prometheans are a fun enemy if you don't think about them as Forerunners. As you said, space shooty game, new threat, fun enemies. The dynamic between Chief and Cortana, though, that is the strong suit of the game. That is the chef's kiss. The good thing 343 did, in my opinion. Christian, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on like how they took the story in regards to like Chief and Cortana?
I mean, I specifically with regards to Chief and Cortana, I think that one thing that 343 did with Master Chief was he encountered his greatest enemy in this game, and that is character development and emotions. He because of Cortana and all the issues that she is experiencing, we see that he's exemplifying some actual emotions about wanting to save her instead of just like strictly mission and strictly like, this is what I do, I'm Master Chief, I feel nothing. We just get some moments of like a better glimpse into their relationship, which honestly I thought was pretty. Master Chief and Cortana, that their relationship was probably the best part of the game, in my opinion. I thought it was really good. I think that is one decision that 343 did well, to give them some graces. One other thing, this doesn't have to do specifically with Master Chief and Cortana, but with regards to the overall plot of Halo 4, I saw this thing online that drew some comparisons, and I thought it was pretty applicable. It's almost, we were talking a minute ago about copy and paste, how they copy and pasted Cortana, and it's almost like they copy and pasted the rough format of the first Halo Combat Evolved, because when you think about it, the game in general, it starts, Master Chief wakes up. Both games start with him waking up out of cryosleep, and then he ends up landing on a Forerunner installation. He combats some and is forced to stop some kind of ancient evil, whether it's the Flood or the Didact and the Prometheans, and then he has to destroy the Forerunner. Otherwise, there will be some kind of massive devastation. So, when looking at it in that lens, there are a good bit of similarities. I know that 343 did some variations from what Bungie did, but I think that they tried to somewhat roughly copy Combat Evolved, probably to try to maintain the Halo feel, is my guess. Yeah, when we were talking, I remembered that I saw that, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned it.
I want to, before I say something, I want your opinion on, or I want you to explain, because I know we don't do recaps here. We just assume like, hey, listen, you get the game. We're not doing a point by point. But something that's worth explaining, because the average player probably doesn't understand. Why is the Didact Forerunner stuff frustrating? And I feel like you can probably explain that better than I can.
I don't really know if I can.
Oh, I can try then.
Well, because you're the one who mentioned all of those things more accurately. So I'll let you do that.
Okay. Oh, I'm cracking my neck. Okay, I'm bad at Halo lore. So the Didact and the Forerunners in general really had to do with Christian. You missed a lot of this because it was really mostly limited to the what were those things that crashed the game called? The terminals. And they did crash the game multiplayer a lot, so we avoided those. But there's a lot of kind of background lore, and it comes to the forefront here. They were characters hinted at earlier on, the Didact and the Librarian, right? And they were basically people responsible for like saving humanity from the ring, more or less, and then also firing the ring is kind of like who they were. They were big deals. The Librarian, because the Librarian shows up in this briefly too and helps out. And they're finally brought to the forefront on the screen. So for a lot of people, they're like new characters, but if you've been following the lore at all, one thing that is in the games, in Halo 1, and especially Halo 3, they really hammer this home, and say it directly in Halo 3, is that humans are Forerunners. That humans are clearly the descendants of Forerunners. because that's why the Prophet needs a human hand to press the installation. That's why 343 at the end says, like, he says some line that's like, "This is your legacy" or something. You know what? I don't remember the exact line, but editor
He
Nolan's
literally just says, "You
are Forerunner," right? Yeah. So like, it's not subtext by the time of 3 anymore. This isn't like a little minor change. Like, the whole lore of this world is building up to the reveal that humans are like the descendant. Clearly, like, Forerunners blew up the rings and everything got wiped back to the Stone Age, and then humanity had to rebuild itself, and we're the reclaimers of the Forerunner mantle, not just like metaphorically, but because we are Forerunners. That's what the whole thing's building towards. And then Halo 4 says, actually, Forerunners are weird Krogan-looking guys because we want a different enemy faction. And just baffling that they do that. I don't understand what that accomplishes in undoing all of the lore building up to 4. You can even have the Didact look weird and say he gene mutated himself to, like, try and fight the Flood. You could still have him look like a creepy alien thing. But they just kind of spit on, for a game that's so concerned about, like, following up on the legacy of Bungie, they kind of spit on what the entire series was building up to. And so if you're following this as a follow-up, that's the biggest frustrating lore thing, I think, is that they're like, actually, they're weird, creepy aliens, and they're mad at humans. And there's, like, they add on so much more needlessly complicated lore, which is like, Forerunners weren't humans, but they found humans, and humans nearly subjugated Forerunners, but then Forerunners won it the last time, and so they chose as a punishment to de-evolve them, and somehow the Librarian helped the de-evolved human. No, I'm sorry. That's right. Separate humans that were separate from the strain that were de-evolved somewhere else were found on a different planet, and the Librarian saved them in an arc, and that's why they survived the Flood. And then they said, why don't we just take all this Forerunner tech for some reason? And then he comes back and goes, actually, you're not worthy to be a Forerunner, because Forerunners are different Krogan-looking aliens, and you humans suck. And it is really needlessly complicated way to just kind of, like, retcon all of what the lore in the background had been building up to for... I don't know what the payoff is. I don't know what sometimes you retcon a thing, and it's because you can get this cool other thing, right? I don't know what they got. What does that add to the Didact that he's a weird-looking alien guy? I don't feel like anything, but that's the frustrating bit for those that were not on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, how would the story feel if you get there and, like, instead of that Didact actually being, like, you know, a weird separate alien race, it's like Master Chief goes to this Forerunner installation, opens it up, and there's just a human dude. Like, actually, like, the ancient human. That would have been far more interesting.
I feel like it. I don't know what know what they were smoking. But as I've said before, that's a really frustrating thing if this is Halo 4. But in 343 Spaceman #1 game, this is a cool alien dude, and that's neat. And well, it's so weird because I think they handle the Forerunners very poorly. But they handle Cortana and Chief's thing so well. So well. That is the heart of this game, as we've said several times before. But, like, I get emotional about Cortana and Chief's relationship in Halo 4, and I can't believe I'm saying that about a Halo game, that it kind of, like, makes me well up a little bit. But, like, the performances are amazing. They have her, if you haven't played the game, she's going crazy, she's rampant, and then Chief's, like, trying to stop this alien threat and save her at the same time, but by the end, it's pretty obvious he's not going to be able to do both, and one's going to have to go, and yeah, it's her. She goes, and her death scene at the end is, and the few leading up to it, that line, especially in light of Infinite, where they're like, they'll pair you with another AI, it may even be a Cortana model, and I was like, that hits so much harder if you've played Halo.
That didn't age well.
It did. I mean, it aged beautifully, you know, like, she was right. It's such a beautiful send-off. My one tweak, like I mentioned, is they say the rampancy is like, oh, you hit 8, and AIs just lose their friggin' mind for no reason, and I think that's dumb. What I do think it should be is what I felt like was foreshadowed. One of my only complaints about Halo 3 originally, so the Gravemind, like, attacks her for, like, 2 full games, and she's like, whew, that sure was rough. And, like, she seems like she's going crazy, and then she just gets better. And I'm like, I would have thought that would have left psychological impact. So if you just pretend that she's going crazy because of her time at the Gravemind and not because she arbitrarily turned 8, it's a much better game. Like most of this game, if you just pretend it's a little bit different, it gets way better.
Just the small tweaks.
Yeah, exactly. But her death scene is... this is going to sound weird because it's from Halo 4, but I think it's even better than Johnson's. And I think it's probably the most emotionally resonant scene that I've ever played in Halo. And there's a lot of good ones, but I actually think if they've accomplished anything, it's that they made me care maybe more than about anything else somehow.
Sure. I can kind of get the feel of it's like better than Johnson's, because I mean it's directly affecting Master Chief and his closest ally at that point.
Yeah, but
Johnson is the second.
But like the thing is just the what they were going for is he's an unstoppable super soldier on a mission, and he does that and he's badass and he's awesome and I love it. And I wouldn't change it really. But like, I don't know, making Chief, that scene on the space station at the end where it's very clear that like he has feelings and doesn't have the capacity to really process them, and that weighs on him, I think is such a good scene. It added so much more depth to him without making him a wimp or like a whimpering little crybaby. He's still awesome. He's still going to save the world. I don't think he's going to snap and go evil or anything, but it's interesting to see it actually affect him for like 5 minutes and just to be like, I couldn't save her. I couldn't do it. And I don't know what to do with that. All of the tools I have that enable me to be the best ever have not enabled me to process this loss. And I think that's awesome.
And I will say, for at least Halo Infinite, I feel like they keep that going for Master Chief, that like kind of characterization, the feelings without, making him a wimp. It feels like that kind of continues with the stuff that's going on. I can't say it does that for 5, because nothing happens with Chief in 5, really. Or, like, the other team, it's I swear, if you watch the cutscenes of any time Master Chief is there, 80% of the time, he's just walking somewhere. And that is the cutscenes with Master Chief and his team. They walk somewhere, they talk a little, end a cutscene.
They were adapting the Fellowship of the Ring.
Sure. But, yeah, I mean, you're not going to get much build-up or development of Chief in 5. There's just nothing going on. But we'll get there if we get there.
Is it, like, I think there's a real question to be asked. It's like, is it worth sacrificing all that they've sacrificed to have this good characterization? We'll let the tier list decide that, but it is worth noting that even though maybe they didn't handle everything else as good, if they did one thing well, heck, if they somehow did even one thing better than Bungie, I think it was Chief and Cortana's relationship and arguably Chief's characterization. Gold star 343. Everything else has a bit of an asterisk, but I don't really have any notes here. You did good. You should get a thumbs up for that.
I think I would agree with that.
Christian, you look like you're looking into space. What's going on?
Oh, my camera's just here, but you guys are here.
Oh!
So I'm just looking at you.
Oh. I just watched you go like...
I'm looking at you guys.
Okay, I didn't know.
I just get lost in both of your eyes. It's just... Oh, I'm swoon.
Oh, man.
All right. So, I think I'm going to ask Christian this first. And like we kind of maybe already slightly spoiled this, but if we do get to play Halo 5, what are your expectations? You already kind of know some because we couldn't help ourselves by ranting about it before. But what are your expectations for Halo 5 should we and if we play it?
I think... Should I go into what you guys have already spoiled too?
Sure, just for context sake.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that Cortana's still alive. Or at least some part of her is alive, and she's gonna...
They immediately undo the best part of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait one game!
And I think she is gonna just absolutely lose her mind because she lost Chief, and because she's 8 years old, and that apparently happens for whatever reason. I think when she finds out that she's still alive and that she has lost it, he's gonna have a mental breakdown now that he has emotions, and he's going to have to take a few naps, maybe go to therapy. I think Halo 5 is going to be a therapy simulator. I think that he'll get paired with another Cortana that isn't the Cortana, but that she'll be like a distinctly different personality, but he's still going to be kind of cold towards her because she is a Cortana. But I think... Sorry, go ahead.
I want to point something out. At the time of the recording, they have also, Austin, I don't know if you heard this, just revealed the new Cortana, the weapon's name, by the way, from Halo 6. And this goes exactly...
Really? Send it to me right
yes. now. No, I'll tell you. I'll just tell you right now. It's fine.
Okay.
It's Joy. That's the name.
Thank God it's not Cortana.
Okay.
I would have lost it if they just said Cortana.
Can I tell you, this is exactly what I was talking about 343 versus Bungie, though. Where are they revealing that? You'll never believe this. In a YouTube short / TikTok that is an announcement for an audiobook. Like,
really?
Yeah, no, so okay, Christian, for context, at the end of Halo 6, there's a new Cortana model and it doesn't have a name. And at the end, like the ending cutscene, she goes, I think I finally decided on a name. It's cut to black. And it's been that way for like years. And then everyone's like, what's the name gonna be? And then on a TikTok, like, this is like friggin' when Emperor Palpatine came back in Fortnite. But like in a TikTok, like for an audiobook, they're like, we can reveal what the new name is. They're like, this isn't a baby announcement. Why isn't that a part of like Halo 6 or DLC or something? It's part of like an audiobook. If we keep going, we'll see this more and more because this is the start. But like, they keep like putting vitally important story context where they like leave a cliffhanger and then the next game does not address this at all, and it's like, go read the audiobook, watch the YouTube scribbly-doo. Have you read our comic that's posted on the back of this bathroom stall? That tells us what Master Chief had a secret sister who's actually, you know, the librarian the whole time. Like, I don't know, man, just like all of this seemingly vital lore is just spread out everywhere that you can't keep track of it, and it's tangent over, but I just, had to say that.
Joy? That's the name they picked?
Joy to
better
the
than
world.
Cortana, but it's not a good name.
Joy to
I can't
world.
take seriously hearing Master Chief go, Joy, scan that thing now.
We're gonna, I mean, assuming we get a Halo 7, I guess we have Microsoft Studios, so we will, but I don't know. It's so sad because Halo 4, for all of its faults, was a promising start, I feel like. I felt like it was an overall a positive inclusion. Yeah. Like, I was not... like, you said similarly when I finished it, and I guess we need to get to the rankings, but, like, I wasn't like, oh, gosh. I was like, oh, neat. More Halo. Different. Definitely different, but I don't feel like this is a besmirching the name of Halo. But, like, by the time we're at Infinite, it definitely feels like the name has been besmirched, so...
Oh, the name gets besmirched in 5 hard.
It's more than just that 5 is bad, though. It's how the whole series has been handled since 343 took over. This overemphasis...
there's so much to it. Yeah.
The overemphasis on the intermediate stuff. Plot lines completely dropped and not fallen through at all. Retconning stuff that doesn't make any sense. The time between games. Like, on the Xbox 360 alone, we got 3, Reach, ODST, 4. And then since then, we've gotten 5 and 6. On 2 separate console generations. We get one. We used to get like 2 to 4 Halo games a generation, and now we get 1 if we're lucky. Like, it's not just that the games are bad, it's that we wait half a decade or more for them to be bad.
I'm assuming you know the full plot, Dylan, so I don't know if you have any predictions or expectations for the game, or do you?
I'm going to predict that 5 goes on the Crazy Aunt Tracy list, which is games so bad that I'm baffled they got published. I'm like, how did this happen?
I can't. Now we gotta play.
I don't know. I know enough to know, but like it just seems to be the progenitor of all. It's not the progenitor, but it is the culmination of all of the bad decisions Microsoft and 343 have made with Halo. And it's genuinely, I know 6 people like a lot better, but the whole direction the series has been so long. It's been 343 as long as it was Bungie, maybe longer at this point. It's hard to think about because it's only been 3 games, but
it has to be longer for sure, because Bungie's last game was 2011, and that was like at the end of their 10-year contract.
Yeah.
And so 343 has had it for over 10 years. So yeah, 343 has had Halo longer than Bungie has.
Yeah, 343's had Halo longer than Bungie, and it's been at best mediocre and pretty consistently below mediocre from the company with the most capital, I think, in the world. Is it Microsoft? It's like 1 or 2, leading their flagship title. That's one of the biggest things in gaming. How are you missing this consistently this long? I don't understand. I'm not saying I could make a better Halo game, but I'm saying if I had Microsoft money, I could hire someone who could make a better Halo game. How do you keep missing this bad this long and devalue your IP this bad? Is anyone psyched for Halo 7?
I'm not.
So I know that's a bigger decision, and the reason I'm so frustrated is because Halo, when Halo 4 came out, I was psyched for Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Halo 4's fault. We're reviewing Halo 4. Halo 4 could have been something. I don't know what went wrong in between. But Halo 4 could have been something, but it's hard to even care about it now because I know what comes after, and that really sullies kind of the whole experience.
So yeah. Well, if we get a chance to play it, we will answer these questions. Problem is, there's no actual way to play it. It's not an MCC. There's maybe some Game Pass shenanigans that we can do, which sounds like still a bad way to play the game because it's streaming or something.
Yeah.
And none of us all have an Xbox with the game. I do. I technically can still play it on my Xbox One, I think. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out at some point. Let's go ahead and get to our tier list. I'll go ahead and put it on my tier list first. Do we have to reorder all the other Halo games like we typically do?
Go through it.
Okay.
See if anything's changed. It hasn't.
None of my Halo games have changed. Every single Halo game is an A. With the exception of Halo 4. Mm-hmm. Halo 4 is the first Halo game to not be an A. But I would say it is a B- game for me. I still enjoyed it. It's above average. But it's still it's disappointing compared to everything else that came before it. But I still had a good time. I'd even be happy playing it again. It wasn't a bad game. So B- for me. Christian, give us your tiers.
I'm trying to remember all my rankings. I think
it's how you feel about them
of the
now.
Halo games so far have been. I think all of them were between an A- and A+. With I want to say Halo 3 was at the very top, maybe above an A+.
Yes, it's in its own little.
It's its own tier
called Halo 3.
Yeah, I think it's in the Halo 3 tier, which is like the top of the top.
It's where you're looking every time we see you looking up.
Yeah, it's right there. I would say this is. I mean, if everything's an A to A-, I would say I'd give this a B to B+ right now. I enjoyed it. I think it had good qualities. I mean, I think it was overall it was a pretty good game. I am disappointed for everything that you guys have told me will happen, but we'll cross that bridge if we ever come to it.
Yeah. The bridge.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll do something else.
Yeah, something else for sure. So I think pretty much nothing's changed for me, but we'll see. It's funny. I like us doing what we remember so I can look at the videos and go, ooh, our opinion did shift a little bit and we didn't realize it. I think that's fun. But yeah, for me, chronologically, it's like, well, I guess it's not chronologically. So Halo 3 is in the Halo 3 tier. It's the best, obviously. I would then put 1 is the top of A for me, I think. And then I would put ODST right below 1. which is weird because I probably have more fun moment to moment in ODST than 1, but I think 1 is a more complete package, and I still do hold it mildly against ODST that it was sold for $60, which is not fair like a decade later, but Halo's a full game, ODST is a side story, so, you know, and it feels like 1, so, so 3, 1, ODST. I'm gonna put Reach. I think I put Reach in B+. I think I'm still going to do that. There were enough frustrating points in me for Reach that it just brought it ever so slightly down, but I still think it's phenomenal. It's like at the tippy top of B+. And then worth mentioning, Halo 2 is in the it's in the D category still. It's the only one I don't enjoy. You know, opinions. And then I'm gonna put Halo 4 at a B+ below Reach. I think Reach is definitely the better game. Maybe just B. If Reach is a B+, then this is just a B. Reach is significantly better, but I probably enjoy playing them about the same. Reach has better gameplay and a very competent story. I think 4, that emotional resonance brings it up from what might be a C+ game to a B game for me. But yeah, so I'm going to put it right below Reach for me.
Alrighty. Well, there you have it. We have Halo 4. We talked about Halo 4. We ranked Halo 4. We heard a wrong opinion about Halo 2. And yeah, we had a good time, I think, all of us.
Same wrong opinion every time.
Yeah. I think those sniper jackals gave you brain damage, and that's why you can't rank it fairly.
That probably makes sense. That seems right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it was really fun playing Halo 4 with you guys. That game is genuinely fun with people still, even though it's wacky and multiplayer, but it was still an enjoyable time. I had a blast going through all the Halos with you guys, so thank you for all that. And thank you everybody for listening to us rant about Halo. If we play more, the rants are only going to get crazier and wilder, and I'm going to get more and more frustrated. But my name is Austin, signing out.
I'm Dolan.
I am Christian. Have a good night.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Follow us on Instagram.
Oh, gosh. So...
Give me that chip. No, sir. I am ordering you to surrender that chip. No. Lieutenant! Arrest that man!
Captain!
Arrest him! Arrest him!
Captain!